Good morning, students. Nice to see you safe at home. I am Mrs. Sunita Pardesi, going to start second lesson of history. You know, students, India got its independence on 15th August 1947, and we accepted our constitution on 26th January 1950 that we are celebrating as our Republic Day. That means we started working as per our Indian government, and India became sovereign democratic nation. Sovereign nation means supreme power or complete control of government. So students, in this lesson we are going to learn some events after 1960. The Indian society is multicultural and people of various languages, religions, and ethnicities, castes live together. During the initial period after independence, India needed to solve different issues of economic, political, and social development. To eliminate poverty in India, to achieve economical development, the government established the Planning Commission and gave emphasis on industrialization. Successful conduct of elections and faith in democratic traditions made it possible for us to achieve political stability. At the same time, several social reforms and programs were made for the weaker sections of the society. In the decade of the 1960s, several events occurred which had a huge impact on the political situation in India. The region of Goa, Diu, and Daman were freed from Portuguese rule and became parts of the Indian Federation. The tension between India and China on the northern border was increased after 1950, culminated in the War of 1962 between two countries. This war was fought in the region of the McMahon Line. McMahon Line is the border line between Tibetan region of China and northeast region of India. It is on the name of British officer Henry McMahon. After independence of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of India. He was the architect of India's foreign policy. His contribution to the social and economic development of India is significant, which we will learn in our next lessons. Jawaharlal Nehru passed away in 1964. After him, Lal Bahadur Shastri became the next Prime Minister of India. During his tenure in 1965, there was a war between India and Pakistan over Kashmir issue. Lal Bahadur Shastri gave the slogan Jai Jawan Jai Kisan, which shows the importance of Indian soldiers and Indian farmers. He died at Tashkent in 1966. Then in 1966, Indira Gandhi became the new Prime Minister of India. During her tenure, Pakistan started oppressive policies in East Pakistan, which have resulted in a big movement there. This movement was led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and his organization was called Mukti Wahini. This crisis in East Pakistan affected India because millions of refugees came to India. The 1971 war between India and Pakistan led to the creation of an independent country called Bangladesh. 1970s. You know, students, India's foreign policy is known for its peace and harmony. And as per the policy, to use the atomic energy for peaceful purpose. In 1974, at Pokhran in Rajasthan, India successfully carried out an underground test of an atomic device. In 1975, the people of Sikkim voted for joining the Indian Republic, and Sikkim became a part of India. During this season in India, political situation was unstable. The Allahabad High Court gave the verdict in 1974 that Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, had misused the government machinery during the election campaign. It led to nationwide strikes and protests, and it became more complicated due to the movement led by Jay Prakash Narayan. The law and order became worse. Government declared a state of emergency. A state of emergency means a situation in which government is empowered to perform actions or policies that would normally not to be permitted. A government can declare this during national disaster, civil unrest, armed conflict, epidemic, etc. Due to the emergency, the Indian administration became disciplined, but the human rights were restricted. In India, the emergency was for 21-month period, that is 1975 to 77. On the backdrop of the emergency, many opposition parties came together and formed a party called Janata Party. The Congress party led by Indira Gandhi was defeated the newly formed Janata Party. Morarji Desai became the Prime Minister of India. But under his leadership, the Janata Party government could not last long due to internal differences. Charan Singh succeeded him. Even his government was a short-lived. Elections were conducted again in 1980. The Congress party, under the leadership of Indira Gandhi, came to power again. During this decade, the Indian political system faced many new challenges. The Sikh people of Punjab demanded an independent state called Khalistan. They started a movement which went on destructive and violent. Pakistan gave its support to this movement. The Indian army was sent into the Golden Temple at Amritsar in 1984 to evict the terrorists who had allegedly taken shelter there, means forcefully taken the shelter there. On 31st October 1984, one of the Sikh bodyguards of Indira Gandhi assassinated her. ULFA is a revolutionary political organization working for independence of Assam. During this period, an organization called United Liberation Front of Assam carried on a major movement in northeast India. After the death of Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi in 1984 became the Prime Minister of India. He was trying to improve economic condition of India. He tried to make several reforms in the field of science and technology. He tried to solve the issues of the Tamil minority in Sri Lanka. Tamil minorities means they are South Indians who were amongst the first settlers in Sri Lanka. He promoted the idea of united Sri Lanka, but his efforts proved to be in vain. He faced a lot of criticism in the corruption of defense equipment, especially the purchase of long-range cannons from a foreign company called Bofors. Political corruption became a crucial issue in the general elections, and the Congress party was defeated. No other party got clear majority of votes. Several political parties formed a coalition government. When no other party got a clear majority votes in the election, at that time some parties, 2 or 3, coming together and making the government, that government is known as coalition government. Vishwanath Pratap Singh became the new Prime Minister of India. The policy for providing reservations to the OBC, that means other backward class, is considered to be his most important contribution. Due to internal differences, he could not continue as a Prime Minister. In 1990, Chandrasekhar became the new Prime Minister of India, but his government was also short-lived. In 1991, during the election campaign, the terrorist organization in Sri Lanka Liberation Tiger of Tamil Ilium LTTE assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. Towards the end of 1980, the unrest in Jammu and Kashmir had begun. The terrorist activities there forced the Kashmir Pandits to leave the valley. Students, this problem is growing day by day and now it has taken the form of terrorism. The year 1991 is very important in the history of world as well as India. The Soviet Union disintegrated into several small countries and the Cold War came to an end. In India, the government under the leadership of Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao brought many changes in the Indian economy. In this period, the Ram Janmabhoomi and Babri Mosque issue at Ayodhya came to the forefront. In India, no political party got a majority in the Lok Sabha when the elections were conducted between 1996 and 1999. Three governments were there in a short span of time, which was led by Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, H.D. Devagounda and Inder Kumar Gujral. Finally, in 1999, National Democratic Alliance came to power under the flag of Bharatiya Janata Party and Atal Bihari Vajpayee became India's Prime Minister. He was trying to create friendly relations with Pakistan, but he did not succeed. In 1998, India conducted a number of nuclear tests and declared herself as an atomic power. There was another war between India and Pakistan in Kargil region in 1999 over the Kashmir issue. India defeated Pakistan in this war. Now we will see about India's economy. From the time of independence, the modernization of economy, economic self-sufficiency and social justice have been the characteristics of India's economy. India wanted to acquire modernity and self-reliance by establishing industries. Agriculture is the main occupation of India, but India wanted to acquire modernity and self-reliance by establishing industries as well as using modernity in the agriculture. India wanted to establish an economy based on social justice through planning. For this purpose, the National Planning Commission was established that would coordinate development through the policy of 5-year plans. The Narasimha Rao government started economic reforms from 1991. These economic reforms are called as economic liberalization. Liberalization means removal of control. In order to encourage economic development, it has less restrictions and regulations for greater participation by private entities. As a result of implementation of this policy, the Indian economy flourished. The foreign investment in India increased. The field of information and technology opened several opportunities of employment in the country. The changes after 1991 are also described as globalization. Science and technology in India. Two major events must be mentioned while describing India's efforts towards self-reliance. Self-reliance means reliance on one's own powers and resources rather than others. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is known as the father of the Green Revolution in 1965. He implemented new scientific agricultural techniques and increased the production of food grains. Dr. Varghese Kuren led to increase of milk production in India. He did the experiment in cooperative dairy movement, which is known as White Revolution. India had made progress in the fields of atomic energy and space research. Dr. Homi Bhabha laid the foundation of the Indian Atomic Power Program. India has achieved considerable success in space technology. In 1975, the first satellite Aryabhatta was launched. India has also made improvement in the telecom sector. Changes in social field. During this period, there were several major changes in the social field in India. Some of the changes are related with the issues of the empowerment of women, the policies regarding the uplift of the deprived sections of the society. In 1985, under the Ministry of Human Resource Development, some laws were made. They include the Prohibition of Dowry Act and equal remuneration. As per the 73rd and 74th Constitution amendments, seats were reserved for women in the local self-government bodies. Amendment of laws means some laws are repair or doing some changes in the law as per the present situation. In 1953, Kaka Saheb Kalelkar Commission was established. Because according to the makers of the Indian Constitution, some constituents of the Indian society were deprived of dignity and equal opportunities due to the caste system. In 1978, a commission was established under the chairmanship of B.P. Mandal to study the issues of the backward classes. The policy of reservation was adopted to uplift the backward classes. In 1989, the Atrocity Act was passed to enable the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes people to live with dignity and respect. Globalization. Globalization brought about many changes in different fields like economy, politics, science and technology, and society and culture. India is an important member of international organizations like G20 and BRICS. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Satellite based communication facilities have spread all over India. India has shown the world success of democracy. This has resulted to drastic change in the lifestyle of people in India. These changes are visible from their dietary habits, clothing, language, and beliefs. In the next chapter, we are going to study some internal challenges before India. Thank you and take care.